Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jake Laffauter from Geek Dad Life.
And I'm Dan Larson from Secret Galaxy.
And we're here to dive into your favorite toy lines 1 year at a time. And Dan, this is, I think, the first time we've done a toy line that I have never owned a figure for.
We've been talking off air for what, 15 minutes now?
Sure, yeah.
And I did not get up from my chair to go to the other side to grab my bag of Crystar figures. I'm an idiot. I've got 3 Marvel Legends Crystar figures on the shelf over there, and I did not think to just like grab them in the 15 minutes we were sitting there talking.
So I'm going to preface this show by, because today's show we're talking about the Saga of Crystar.
Crystar, yes, they are crystalline people.
Well, I keep saying Crystar,
which I saw. I'm pretty sure there's a video game called Crystar.
Yeah,
I think there's an old game and a newer game, and that is pronounced, I believe. I'm not a fan of the game. I haven't played the game, but this came up in our research when we were doing the Crystar video.
Yeah,
that is pronounced Crystar. This is Crystar. That's Crystar. These are crystalline people made out of crystals. That's, I don't know, something about sad.
Well, do we know for sure this is how we're supposed to? Because like, there's never a cartoon for this, right?
100. Nope, there's no cartoon, but it is absolutely Crystar, and we are not gonna. We're not gonna try to pollute the record here.
I'm not trying to cause a scene or anything.
Jay trying to be like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I've never owned any of these toys, but I'm pretty sure I've got the right pronunciation.
I have no connection whatsoever, other than seeing these toys and thinking they're because it may just my brain. I see CRY, that's cry, and then star.
Sure,
STAR.
Sure. Yeah,
but you're right. It's Crystar.
Crystals. Yes,
and they should have made it CRI. That's all I'm saying, Marvel people. That's what you should have done.
I don't think that would have fixed it. I don't think that would have fixed it for anybody.
So
I'll bet. Yeah, actually, I'll bet there are commercials. In fact, I'll bet there's a TV commercial for the toys. I'm gonna see if I can find.
Ooh, good call. Good call.
And if he says Crystar, we're just gonna end the show, and I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna go live in the woods.
Well, because you've done videos on this and you pronounced it Crystar in your videos,
always.
Correct?
So look, there's that thing where like if you've only ever seen a word in print,
yes,
and you've never actually heard anybody say it, you don't know how to pronounce it. And we come up with every week on our show. That's an issue, especially when it comes to trying to pronounce people's names.
Oh, sure.
If I don't know that name and I want to make sure I'm getting it right, we got to look up an interview. We got to look somebody talking. We got a second, third opinion to see how that thing is actually pronounced. And here we go. Yeah, this isn't going to play, obviously.
I'll put this in after. We'll play the commercial right now.
Yeah, no, he just said Crystar like 15 times in the first 3 seconds of the commercial. So it's clear. It's Crystar for sure.
Well, okay, so the Saga of Crystar.
But I don't want to pressure you. I don't want to pronunciation shame you.
I want
however you want to.
I want to do this correctly, okay? Because Colleen, my wife, she is a New York Italian, and something that New Yorkers do is they pronounce Mario, like from Mario Brothers, they pronounce it Mario.
Yeah.
Right? And myself and my 2 children, we give her so much crap for saying Mario instead of Mario. So I have to like live by this truth that I can't just call it Crystar. It's Crystar.
Yeah.
But Mario's weird. I don't know.
I'll give you that the car brand is Chrysler.
You're right.
And that is CHRY. Chrysler. And this is Crystar. You don't say Chrysler.
It's fine. I gotta move on. I can't live the lie that I was living before. Sorry. But Crystar is what we're doing. So okay, but my only it's not like I don't know this toy line. It is one of those. Even though it's a 1 year, right? This is another one and done.
Oh yeah, no, it's a.
That we're tapping into here as we kind of take a break from a very long GI Joe, and working on another kind of long series coming up maybe next month. But even though it's a one and done, like this is another one of those toy lines that's kind of legendary, and in this case I think it's that because it's kind of a neat toy concept. Like translucent plastic. That's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
cool.
Well, and who else? I mean, other than rock lords, maybe, who else has like rock people fighting rock people? It's based in that whole geology kind of, neighborhood. There's plenty of robots and aliens and space stuff all over the place, and medieval knights and whatever else. But this line has a the market on rock people pretty much cornered, and it's definitely one of those lines that just got lost in the shuffle, in the absolute market saturation of action figures in that 83 to 86 sort of range, where at any point there were like 50 different lines on the shelves.
Right. Well, I mean, looking at the year, right? So released in 1982. I mean, that's like we GI Joe 1982 Star. Like you have so much in 82. It didn't have a chance, right? Like
Without supporting media, and this is obviously Masters of the Universe cartoon isn't on the air yet.
No.
GI Joe cartoon isn't on the air yet. That sort of formula isn't there quite yet. Comic books being used to promote this stuff is there, and that's sort of where Crystar found its origin.
But and yeah, so again, thanks to Alstroid as a research. But yeah, it's Marvel Comics are the people that kind of got this thing started with the intention of it being a toy line, right? Like so
yeah, this was essentially Marvel wanting to have their own toy property instead of partnering, making comics for Star Wars, making comics for other toy brands and whatever. This is Marvel wanting to create their own licensable character and concept that they can turn into merchandise.
Yep. And so there's a quote here from series writer Joe Duffy. There was a strong feeling editorial, and I think in the sales department as well, that Marvel ought to be doing some kind of fantasy book besides the sword and sorcery type material it's been doing.
Like Conan had been out there.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, it's kind of, because it is in that 3 3/4 inch ish scale, right? So it would fit in with things.
Sure enough. Yep.
But it is kind of wild.
Yeah, it's almost 5 POA. They've got knees. Most of them have knees.
So they can sit into on a vehicle, or the dragons that they can come with. Okay, so it's 1982. You got Masters of the Universe. You got GI Joe's return with Real American here, and you got Crystar. Where were you at with this? Did you have it as a kid? Did you buy these?
I was in Japan, so
okay, so you didn't know it existed.
Really, I knew it when it came back. It was because it was different, right? Like stuff sort of stayed on shelves a little bit longer.
Sure,
right? Like it wasn't like today something's on the shelves for longer than 2 months and people are like, it's peg warming, like some of this stuff, especially when you had Toys R Us there, I don't know if you remember, but Toys R Us was like, you had the new toys section, and then you had the everything else section, which, I mean, there was stuff that was going back like 5-6 years that it's going to stay on the pegs forever. And so I think Crystar still had a life in those kinds of sections where it just, once it got cycled over, it just stayed there until everything sold through. So I definitely remember seeing it on the pegs. I remember seeing, passing it over for things that I was actually more interested in. I didn't buy any back in the day. I didn't own them back then. It was a line that I got into later on.
Yeah. So was it like when you were a collector or doing reselling? Like what? When
yeah, for sure. Because it was one of those lines that I knew about. I had just never owned any of them. Thundercats was the same way. I wasn't into Thundercats when they were originally on shelves. So when I get into college and got a car, you got some money, got friends that want to go hit flea markets and yard sales and all those kinds of things, that's when I started getting into buying up those lines that I didn't have as a kid. You're simultaneously hunting for the things you had that you didn't have anymore, Transformers, GI Joe, Star Wars, whatever. But then you're also looking to get into those vintage lines that about, but never actually, were able to acquire.
Now, this is I've never owned one. I don't really know too many friends that have a collection of these. Is this one of those famous brittle toy lines, like with all the translucent plastic?
You would think that it would be, but not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I have owned several of these figures over the years. I own several of the figures now. The characters that are like, the lava guys, Moltar and whatever, those are fine. Those are just regular old plastic.
Yeah.
But the translucent figures, I've never found them to be particularly.
Oh wait, they're not made out of crystal?
No, not actually. That would be a little pricier. I haven't. Now, the dragon in here, that is notorious for being incredibly fragile.
Okay.
There are pieces on that are just really thin and pushing the limits of what you can do with translucent plastic. But to my knowledge, I haven't seen any particular issues with breakage. But
good on Remco for putting that together.
Well, finding a magic formula.
Yeah, because it's just of that era. There are ones like Filmation's Ghostbusters one for me, just like the plastic that they've used for the playset stuff is so brittle it falls apart. What's that castle from? Is it Black Star? That the bad guy's fortress, that thing's famous for like disintegrating. The Eternia tracks,
Yeah.
But usually like translucent stuff, even more so. I feel like it's more and more brittle, or maybe
absolutely.
So kudos for them for at least not being notoriously bad.
As far as I know, it's never been something that I've associated with the line, and chalk that up possibly to the fact that it doesn't have that many joints. There isn't that much articulation, so you don't have a lot of small hinged parts. They are pretty solid joints at the shoulder, at the neck, those kinds of things. And even the characters who are made out of the translucent plastic, they're not 100% translucent plastic. Crystar's got boots and a crotch. Feldspar has his whole waist down as the regular plastic. So, that certainly decreases the chances that those figures are going to break. But yeah, no, there are absolutely figures like, McFarlane has done translucent figures over the years that, I owned them and like never touched them. And it's like you put them in the drawer and you take them out one day, a few years later, and it's just like all the joints are dust. I think it's just absolutely brittle.
They lost the translucent plastic smiths. Their ways were lost.
The mix, the chemistry. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you've owned quite a few. You're also very taken with the Marvel Legends Crystar figure, famously, if people follow you on social media and stuff.
I've always loved translucent figures. I don't know what it is. Just clear figures are cool, and I guess I haven't had enough breakage trauma, to be steered away from them just yet. They discolor easy, they break easy, all that stuff. I don't know that they're more prone to that weird sticky buildup, as the chemicals break down in the plastic. But just Crystar is one of those lines that I just never, ever would have thought it would have ever made a return, that especially like Marvel Legends would have, tried to bring a figure back like that. So for that to happen, it was just pretty exciting, pretty cool.
Yeah, because you're right. It is such a when you think in the grand scheme of things, all the toys that came out in the 80s that carry, such weight in terms of their cultural impact. Crystar, I just did it. Crystar wouldn't necessarily be tops on the list, but again, it's a Marvel property, so it was cool. It was a really cool and thing to do.
Every once in a while, I personally, I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but every once in a while, I feel like things are made specifically for me, and I appreciate that. Spider-Ham Marvel Legends, I felt like that was made for me. Sky Striker HasLab, I was like, I don't know if they're going to sell more than one of these things, but you're going to sell one, that's for sure. And then Crystar, I was like, I mean, obviously, I saw Pixel Dan was super excited about it. Lots of other people were excited about it. Obviously, the Marvel Legends team was excited about it, but I was just like, I don't know. I don't care if anybody else likes this thing. I'm getting one, and I'm incredibly psyched that it got made. Thank you, Marvel Legends.
Yes. And now they're doing the ROM, right?
Yeah. Not as excited about ROM. A lot of people are, so I'm like, that's cool. I pre-ordered it. I'm definitely going to get one, but it's not in the same category as Crystar for me. I would have preferred to see somebody else from Crystar before ROM.
That is true. It's one of the drawbacks there. They only have so many slots to give, but they definitely could. Like, who would be next on your list of Crystar characters to get a Marvel
Legend?
Legend?
Get into that as we go through the figures.
Good call.
Jump in.
But before we jump into the actual figures, any thoughts on Remco as like a toy company in the 80s? Did they register for you at all as a kid? In terms of like
not
the
really.
Remco releases?
You know what? They definitely fall into that category of like cheap toys.
Sure.
They're definitely one of those names you associate with like cheap, disposable, plastic. I mean, I'm describing all toys right now, but very cheap, very disposable, very flimsy, like low price. Yeah, exactly. Things that I did not like. So it's weird to see a line like this where we're talking about it and saying, I don't think they are particularly fragile. I think they have held up. I think it is a cool line. I think it is better than something like, I think this is superior to something like Dragon Riders of the Styx, which is more like a weird sort of, most people don't know about that line unless you're really into 4-inch action figures. It just, this one I feel like holds up better. It fits in better and is just a higher quality line. So it's like, that goes against what I think about Remco in general.
Yes. I'm trying to see if I can get like a list of the toy lines that they had. They had Universal Monsters, which was pretty good. The 80s ones, those 3 3/4-inch ones.
Sure, yeah. I always think those are Mego.
Right. Dukes of Hazzard, 81. Warrior Beast. Is Warrior Beast the knockoff?
That's one of those knockoff He-Man lines.
Yeah. Sergeant Rock for DC, Warlord for DC, which again I often at least think people often confuse with like Motu knockoff kind of.
Yeah. So what are you looking at the Wikipedia right now, or what are you looking at?
No, I'm just whatever Google.
Oh, okay, so Wikipedia has a full like list of all their toys.
Oh, here we go. I got it now,
before you even get to 1980, you've got like 30 years of
good Lord,
all kinds of products. So they're definitely a big deal in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
80s, where you start to get like, the 80s, they're doing like Zybots.
Oof.
Karate Kid, okay. Furfles, this is not the great stuff that everybody's clamoring for right now.
That's why, they really, of course, if you're looking at it, if you're looking at home, like they had some legit, like they had Beatles figures in the 1960s, monkeys in the 70s, Star Trek.
lot of big licenses. Batman, Lost in Space. Like there's a lot of stuff there. Incredible Hulk. We'll skip that one there. Mickey Mouse, Spider-Man, Star Trek, lots of stuff. But it's like Star Trek utility belt. What is that? Like a little play outfit, role play kind of thing. I don't know if they did that infamous Spock helmet.
Probably. Yes.
Top of the head,
But by the 80s, it really, like the whole list really shrinks down.
1979. I need to look up this Incredible Hulk Instant Muscles. I need to know what that is. Is it like inflatables? Is it like?
I guess like the swimming.
Swimmies. Yeah.
It's pretty legit. It is like the swimming technology, but it kind of gives them pecs and
oh yeah, he's like ripping out of his shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Solid.
That's cool. It's like air. Yeah, it's like an air pump for it.
It's not bad. Remco, you did all right. So by 80s, you have 80. You have Universal Monsters. 81, Dukes of Hazzard. Warrior Beast. Sergeant Rock. Warlord. 82. Crystar. 82, 83. Conan. 84.
Yeah. So like Warlord, Conan, Mighty Crusaders, AWA. That all falls into that like He-Man, Motu 5.5 body style thing. Warrior Beasts.
And Karate Kid is kind of the last legit action figure toy line they did.
Yeah.
Or SWAT Cats.
I would say SWAT Cats in 94 is still pretty fringe. I know there's a lot of big fans of it.
Yes.
I know that somebody right now, I don't know who's doing it, is trying to bring SWAT Cats back. Toys anyway. There was definitely a push for a Kickstarter on an animated series. All that stuff. But yeah, the SWAT Cats is the last thing that's listed here. And that was only like 4 figures, I think.
It was. And that's it. Then Remco goes the way of the dodo. Hey, the dodo's coming back, so everything's gonna be fine.
It's a Kickstarter.
All right. Well, ready to look at some of these figures?
Yes.
All right.
I love looking at the names of old toys. Monkey Division. What's Monkey Division? I don't know.
Wait, you don't know that toy line? That's next week's episode.
I got to study up. We haven't covered that yet on our show.
Hey, listen, this is a whole bunch of new content for you. You got to tap into the boomer market with these.
I'm just adding all these to our list. Greg, we got to do Monkey Division.
Anywho, we've got a good selection of. Do you want to do figures first? Vehicles?
Yeah. Start on the figures. Start with Crystar himself. Go for the man that the line is named after.
The man of the hour. And honestly, it kind of doesn't get any better than this figure. For me, I think it's just such a simple look. That translucent blue with the red plastic, it looks so good. It translated so well to that Marvel Legends figure. I'm kind of bummed I've never owned one because it does look really, really cool. But Dan, you're more the expert here. What's your thoughts?
I love it. I mean, it's very Iceman, right? Like,
yes,
if you're into Spider-Man and his amazing friends or any, that sort of thing, like they didn't make any toys for that, but this is what you would have wanted, was something like this for Iceman. He's got a removable helmet, sword, shield. He has they all come with this little what are we calling it?
Prism
It's like
crystal,
wand,
I think is what
prism.
it's called.
Okay, yeah. And
Prism
so you
crystal.
look through it, and it does that sort of prismatic thing, like a
Prisma
kaleidoscope
crystal. Sorry, thanks.
thing that so just a fun accessory, fun little play feature. Like I said, they're basically 5 PO8, but also with knees. So you got a little bit more articulation than a Star Wars figure.
Yep.
And they're sharp looking, like the red against that ice cold blue and the clear shield and everything. Just a very heroic character design, a fun action figure that is sort of between Star Wars and GI Joe.
Yes.
But just like everything else, once GI Joe comes out, you kind of wished everything had that articulation. So
I know.
there was a brief window where this was like, oh, this feels like the future because he's got knees. But like I said, I didn't have him back in the day. This is something that I definitely picked up later on, and I managed to get a pretty good deal on a complete one. And that was not even, man, that was like, I want to say that was around like maybe 2012 ish, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So very, very later on for me. I've had the one of the lava guys a lot longer than that, but that was my first complete Crystar.
Are these expensive on the secondary market now?
I don't know now. I haven't looked them up recently. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna guess, just like everything else, prices have gone up. Especially if you want, because this plastic, while not necessarily fragile, I don't think it does have a tendency to discolor, and I don't know if there's a way to get it back to clear.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen some, and the colors start to get slightly off. But let's see. 174. Ooh, the castle's only $1,400. But yeah, this is what I see. So $125 here. The that blue, that really nice light blue, kind of turns this greenish color.
Yeah. Woof, that is a high price for that. That is, I mean, that's a live for sale. So I wonder, there's no way I would pay $125 for that badly discolored. Holy cow.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Well, it's kind of like when people say, "Hey, those Disney VHS tapes are worth thousands of dollars." Like, yeah, because they listed for those. Sells for that. But let's see sold price for these. Just for people at home, because some people listen to this show like, "Oh, thanks. Now I gotta go collect these now." So sorry for that. But let's see. So $79, $80. But he's missing a helmet.
Yeah, he's missing his helmet. Yeah. I mean, that sword looks pretty good.
The Prisma crystal looks kind of greenish. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Feldspar is pricey. He's complete. Ooh, $180.
Oh man.
For complete and not all.
Give me a minute. I'm gonna go get mine and post it right now. Get some of this cash.
I'm sitting on a gold mine over here.
Yeah, I want to say I got a good deal. Like, again, 2012 was a while ago now.
Yeah, that's 13 years.
I think I got it for like $25 or something, and I was like,
oh damn,
steal, and now I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna scoop up some of these Marvel Legends Crystars that are on here. Everybody getting out of the market.
So yeah,
180. I can't even believe they're 180. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, that guy's pretty clean though. And again, it's like Jetfire. It's like anything else. Like, you're gonna pay if you want white Storm Shadow, bright white. You're gonna pay for it.
Well, and that's like, you can retro bright white plastic, like you can yellow white plastic. I don't know how you green.
I don't know if there's a procedure.
Right? Like, what do you do?
I don't know. I don't know.
Also, how do you get lucky and not? I mean, it must be like climate controlled, perfect temperature. I don't know. The right.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not a chemist. I don't know what what actually causes the discoloration. If it's UV exposure, if it's the light, or if it's air, if it's chemicals in the air. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if some runs are more susceptible to it than others. But yeah, I mean, you're going to pay for that clarity.
Yeah.
It's a great figure. I just his
yeah.
shield is cool, his sword is cool, and you know, every fantasy character's got their like signature weapon that is crispy clear.
Right? That is nice.
Very little paint rub on that red too. And he's got a cool helmet, and I don't know, I just dig it. I like the fact that he is crystal. He's not ice, you know? Like the thing with Iceman is always like, well, shouldn't he be fragile? Like I know ice can be hard, but you know, you sort of think like crystal's even harder than ice, and it's just a cool looking figure.
What's your thoughts on the card art, the card setup?
It's great. I think it looks fantastic. The logo's cool. I like that there's plenty of story on the back there. You got a little bit of a cross sell with the different heads. And yeah, I think it's a sharp. You know, they got that explosion of light behind him.
And I like the bubble kind of has a bit of a crystalline kind of thing going on a little bit too, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Remco, you did all right. Sorry it didn't work out for you.
Yeah, you just if you'd have launched at a time where there weren't 100 other competing action figures on the shelves, maybe it would have been done.
Like if this comes out 1980, so you're before Motu, you're before GI Joe. Like I feel, and you're kind of, I guess Star Wars is still pretty strong, but obviously,
honestly, if they'd have had a cartoon, it would have made a world of a difference.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so that is Crystar. See, I'm doing great. I'm saying doing good, phenomenally. Do you want to go to Feldspar next, or are we going to go all the good? Okay, let's do Feldspar. So he's a bad guy then? Is that what that means?
What do we got here? Appointed regent of Crystallium since the death of his brother, the king of Crystallium, uncle of Prince Crystar and Prince Moltar. The good guy and bad guy are brothers. Feldspar has taken authority over the planet until the princes have settled their conflict. He arranged for both Ogiodi and Zardeth to alter his body into a partly crystalline and partly molten form to symbolize neutrality in their dispute. He is both good and evil.
Wow. A regular Zodak here.
And his weapon there looks like a turkey leg. It's like a giant turkey leg.
I think this dude, he's got a little beard going on, a little crystal beard.
Yeah.
He's got like a little
like I don't know why, like for some reason Crystar to me didn't feel like he was shirtless.
Yeah,
but this guy feels shirtless to me.
And is that like belly chest hair or is that gold appointments? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I dig him. He's fun. I like his little face too. He's a cute little guy.
He's got a lot of personality, and I like that he comes with both crystal and lava weapons as well to really hammer that whole thing home. He's fun, and he's a little guy. You know, got a little different scale of figure here.
Yep, and his little prisma crystal's like purple. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, cool figure.
Yeah, he's neat. We looked a couple seconds ago, but he's 80 Durlers if you want him. And then Magma Man. This is a bad guy, right? He's in
so let's hit where's Warbo? Warbo should be here.
Warbo,
so we can he's like the last of the sort of like actual crystal dudes.
Okay, all right. Let's enlarge. Enhance.
So Warbo, captain, blah blah blah. He lost his eye, got shot by Zardeth. He's like the soldier kind of dude.
Okay, he's fun. Is he? So he's green here in the picture. Was he originally green?
Yes, okay, he's green crystal, and I really would like to have seen this character as a follow-up to Crystar from Marvel Legends.
Ooh, yeah.
Last year, you know, like I really feel like you could have used the exact same body.
Yep,
most of that same body, new head, new accessories, given that little bandolier thing. You probably could have even used the same boots. And I really think that I would have loved to have seen that expansion to that subline.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could still happen, like because if you they've done the tooling, so just slap some green paint on it.
But let's go. We're not getting any younger. We need to wait 2 years between Crystar guys.
But no, I really dig him. I guess his bandolier is pretty cool, and I just love that it's green. Like I think it's a pretty cool.
Yeah. The frustrating thing about this figure was it's like I've never been super into superpowers.
Okay,
and part of why I didn't like superpowers is that permanent kind of bent elbow sort of look.
Sure, yeah.
You know, to me, it shortens the arms a little too much, and in the same situation. you've got hips and knees, but you don't have elbows, and then you've got that arms locked in that sort of half, almost 3/4 bent position.
Yeah.
That's what this guy is. He's got knees, he's got hips, he's got shoulders, but one arm's down and one arm is locked in this sort of half bend. And I hate that. I don't want that at all. I don't want that.
Well, and that's where Marvel Legends is going to come in and fix it for you.
I'm hoping finally after all these years.
I'll send this to the Marvel Legends team.
Yeah,
listen, it's time. It's time. But no, he's cool. He's pretty cool. And then so that wraps up the crystalline figures. Do we want to just close out the good guys? This
OGOD, yeah.
OGOD. He's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. An elfin being with a bald head and white beard, father of Ika, who he willingly sacrificed to become a crystal being in an experiment to learn the secrets of crystal warrior physiology.
Look at those soft goods.
It's luxurious.
He's got a pull my finger on each hand.
And they're really long. It's kind
really long, yeah.
Uncomfortably long.
Yeah. And then just look at that like super generic like wand. Like, is there a more generic wand that you could possibly imagine? Like, if you were sitting in like a kindergarten class and everybody was like making magic wands, like that's the wand you would make. I love it. It's great.
And it's I mean, is that how it is in the I mean, I guess I don't have the time to research it, but it is true. Having a stick with a 5-point star on it.
Yeah. Like so generic. And like the other weapons have been cool so far. I mean, maybe not the turkey leg, but you know, Crystar's sword is cool, shield's cool, and then you got this guy with a star on a stick.
So it's here in this picture. I'm looking at the package art here on figurerealm.com, and he's got this a much cooler crystal.
Yeah, I'm guessing that I don't have a OGOD and never have, so I'm guessing that's not actually his weapon.
But why would they put it in there? Well, actually, crap. Let's just look him up real quick because we got the power of the internet here. Like, did he come with? And then I'm looking at the research too. A crystal staff and soft goods purple. So
where's that wand from?
Where's the wand?
I want the wand.
hold on. So Crystar.
No, yeah, I'm looking at him on eBay. There's no wand.
There's no wand. That is wild.
Yeah, I've never owned him, so neither carded nor loose.
Yeah, there you go. Clearance for $1.90. Spoiler alerts for the price game later. I love whoever I don't know the guy who did figurerealm.com with teabag can restore your vision. That's great. Thank you for the ad. But this that's hilarious.
It makes sense that it's so simple now and that it does not fit.
People that listen or watch this at home, we need your internet sleuthing skills to find out where
you gotta find out where that wand
comes from.
Need that wand.
I love because it's kind of one of those things that happen like at least early days of like selling on eBay and stuff where some accessories somehow got like matched to figures that was never actually with that figure.
Oh sure. Yeah.
I love those kind of stories.
Yeah.
He's fine, I guess. I don't think anyone ever needs this figure, right? Nobody needs it.
No, you definitely need him. He's a big part of the mythology. Like I said, the robe is actually pretty cool.
Okay.
If you have all the bits for it. I'm guessing that's an elastic band around his waist based on these other figures I'm seeing on eBay and stuff. And that's probably going to be the thing that goes.
Yeah.
It looks like it's tied the knot in that photo there. So like LJN D&D figures, those wizards and stuff, like you lose that robe and the figure's not quite as interesting. We're back to like bearded old shirtless guy.
Yeah, this
was charming on the crystalline guy. It's not as charming on the.
We've got an example here. Hey, $13 if you want it.
Yeah.
On eBay.
He just looks like somebody's weird uncle doing finger guns, like at the picnic or something.
Pew,
like,
pew.
Geez, put your shirt back on, please.
He's got like a lightning bolt on the middle of his chest or something there. That's what that is. I hope that's what that is. But anyway, OGOD. Is it OGOD or OGOD?
I'm pretty sure it's Ogeode. I want to say that's how they pronounce it in the commercial, because that was a question we had as well. Is Ogeode makes sense, but Ogeode is how they say it. And you know, is that an Obi-Wan Kenobi Ogeode kind of thing? You know, does it sort of touch on that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good call.
Who knows?
That's probably what it is, but I just feel like I should have been there in the room while they're pronouncing these things, because I just feel like my takes are more logical. All right, so that's the forces of order. We've already tapped into kind of the tweener of Feldspar. Who's the main bad? Is it Moltar? Or is it Magma Man? Moltar's the big bad?
Moltar's the big bad, yeah.
Okay. One of the twin princes of Crystallium, leader of the Magma Men for Chaos. Very plain on like the paint front, doesn't have like the translucent plastic working for him, but it's a decent sculpt. Like looking at it, it's got a lot of cool detail in it.
Yeah, no, he's a mean looking dude. Very interesting in terms of tactile, you know, like this sort of craggy, bony, rocky kind of surface. A sharp contrast to the smooth, you know, sort of angular build of Crystar. I mean, if you're talking about like, you know, two opposing philosophies in this battle, it's very clear that these guys are on opposite sides of the conflict. Look at his frowny face. He's
exactly.
He's so like,
what's so bad about your life, man? You're a prince or something.
It's always hot. He's got an axe. He's got a turkey leg. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's ready to go. I wonder. He kind of reminds me. Who's the bad guy that added in the 90s to Stretch Armstrong? He kind of looks like him to me a little bit. Whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of cool. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's a great compliment to you know, as a bad guy. And I do love the contrast of, you know, like I said, the two sort of materials and how it plays out in Feldspar. And we also see this in the next figure, Magma Man.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at if there's anything interesting in the research support. Magma Man is technically an army builder. Versus Moltar, who is not. But anyway, interesting. All right, let's go on to the next one, Magma Man. And he's just a big magma dude.
Yeah, I mean, same thing basically going on here, a little less decoration to him, you know. Moltar really had all those sort of craggy, almost
it's not as detailed. This looks more melty. It looks melty.
A little more melty, but I think that's by design. You know, these are just like inhuman, rocky lava dudes.
Yeah.
So I think that works. He has, I don't know if it's the same mace weapon, but it's very similar. And just another fun 4-inch 6 POA figure to build. You know, you say army builder. I never knew anybody who was in the position to army build. We've talked about this on previous lines.
Exactly.
That you know, if you were going to get another figure, you wouldn't duplicate one that you already had unless you somehow completed the line, which I never knew anybody who completed the line of anything.
Yeah, it looks like he has a whip here or something too that's not in the other image, but he's kind of cool. I guess my problem with these two figures is I guess there's a little bit of paint apps here on the eyes. Just maybe I don't know what colors I would use for little paint apps, which it seems very plain compared to the crystalline figures.
Not that much more paint though. I mean, the colors on the crystal figures are just, you know, the blue of the clear plastic, the red of his boots, and like, you know, a little bit of paint for his eyes.
But you're in that toy, like, I don't know, that office, so they're deciding like what would you do to maybe liven this up a little bit? Maybe put some like orange highlights or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop a yellow here and there, you know. Maybe just if there's some yellow sort of sitting in those deeper grooves or whatever, give it a sense of like, you know, that lava that hasn't quite fully hardened, you know. There's still some of that like hot, wet stuff poking through.
Yes. Or okay, what if would this make the line successful if the bad guys were translucent red?
I think that would be cool, but I think So you're suggesting like they look the same. They're still the sort of
Yes.
soft organic shapes, the
Yep.
rocky shapes, as opposed to the angular of the
Exactly.
crystal guys, but these are translucent red.
And maybe not super clear, maybe go more opaque with it, but
Yeah,
still is kind of
yeah. A little
translucent.
cloudier kind
Yes.
of. Yeah, maybe. But I think this is a little bit more effective. Maybe if these guys were glow in the dark or something. Or maybe if they had some light piping, you know?
Yeah.
Just to mix it up a little bit. I don't know.
It needs something because it's just
They're very plain. They seem
yeah.
almost unfinished, you know, by, you know, sort of what you expect of action figures now.
Yeah. Just because the other figures, they got at least there's so much variety in the colors. Just your two big bads are just kind of like red pieces of plastic. Again, I think Moltar's sculpting's pretty nice. Like there's a good sculpt there, but all right. And then last year on the bad guys, we got Zardeth, the wizard, the bad wizard, I guess. And he's got them creepy fingers.
Yeah. Getting some mold reuse here. For sure. He's got that little mace weapon. Yeah, it's not a big line, so you can collect them all, but for my personal taste, Zardeth and Ogioti are just not particularly interesting to me.
No.
I don't know what these human guys are doing, and humans and elves in my line about, you know, crystal and lava people fighting each other. They never appealed to me, and I appreciate the sort of soft goods, the cloth robes and stuff, but neither of those figures would have ever. There's no way I would have ever picked them up as a kid.
Even those classic aunts or grandma pickups where they have no idea what you like.
Yeah,
some random figure in your collection.
Right.
I don't even think they would pick one of these up.
Yeah, no, this is in like Ugnaught territory.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It's like
it's a Star War. Here you go.
I do want to get them all, but I don't actually want an Ugnaught. Like, you need to comp me that one. That doesn't count. Like, I need to get a Stormtrooper as well or something.
Okay, I get it. Ugnaught's easy, but they had the lunchbox was cool. That's a cool accessory.
I don't know about that.
Okay, did Mandalorian make you appreciate the original?
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, they actually got to you spend time with one. Give them a personality. Give them something to do. Give them, no, absolutely. Right? Yep, for sure. Yep.
But anyway, okay. So this character, he lost his left eye in an altercation with Warbow, and then he took out Warbow's eye in so that's why it's kind of a little yin and yang.
Literal eye for an eye, yeah.
Literally eye for an eye. But yeah, kind of a weird figure. Okay, so I think
he's got the hat, this weird flat top head mask helmet thing going on. I don't know. There's a real high. I mean, it's just the picture, but that belt is real high waisted too. Like, cinch that down a little bit. You can fix that yourself. That's an easy fix.
All right, I think that's all the character, like the non play sets or whatever stuff.
There's one more figure with a vehicle, but yeah.
Okay, let's do the vehicles. Then we got Crystal Warrior Catapult, the Shatterpult. And yes, he comes with a cool figure. This is a sick figure.
Yeah, I think he's a recast. How would you say? Recast, repainted Warbow?
Yeah. Except the head's different, or is it the head?
Yeah, I think he's got the. Looks like he's got the. I'm checking to see if there's a packaged one on eBay because I've never owned this one either. So yeah. I don't want to know if I don't want to find out that Figure Realm is magic wanding us again.
Yeah, the Crystal Warrior Catapult included catapult, 3 translucent blue cannon plastic balls, crystal sword, Crystal Warrior in green translucent plastic with green and gold paint apps. In the comic, all catapults are referred to as Shatterpults. Some checklists also refer to them as such, including the list on the back of the packaging. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely a different head.
Yeah,
it's not a removable helmet like it is on Crystar. It's a fully molded helmet on his head.
But I like that this vehicle is all translucent plastic. That's fun to me.
Yes, and I gotta believe that's fragile.
So you've never owned one of these?
No. I've never owned the vehicle, never owned the figure. In fact, I don't know if I've ever like Crystar. I think I've got Crystar, Warbow, Moltar, Magma Man. I think I might have Feldspar, but I never have owned the rest of them. None of the vehicles, none of the dragons, not this guy. And if I owned Zardeth or OGOD, they did not stay in my collection for very long. Move them right on out. Beat it, guys.
But I really dig this Crystal Warriors look. I like the purple and green. That's a cool combo. I really dig that. I love, you're right, it probably is not the most stable, but something about that kind of more, I just love the look of this plastic.
It's really cool. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know why, but do you ever like see some plastic and you just want to chew on it?
Yes, that's why I like translucent figures so much.
Right? It's just like I want to.
They all just look so delicious. Yeah.
I just want to chew on that plastic.
Yeah.
It's a great vintage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you can really taste the cigarette smoke of the house.
Exactly. All right, so that's the good guy Crystal Warrior catapult or Shatterpult, and then we've got the lava Shatterpult here.
Same thing, just different colored plastic,
but not translucent again.
Yeah,
a missed opportunity,
and not nearly as visually interesting.
No, yeah.
I do like that one shoots these like craggy spiked lava balls, whereas the crystal one shot crystal balls.
Yeah.
I gotta grab my bag of figures. I need to see who I have. Hang on.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll voice this over. But it also comes with a lava warrior, which is kind of cool. And we got this little artwork here, which is pretty dope. In color, which is nice, which the back of this box gives you in color versus the regular figures are black and white. So it's kind of cool getting this in color. But again, this is a missed opportunity to not just make it translucent. It'd be just as good. And then I wonder if it did come with the crystal balls as well with this set. That wouldn't make much sense, but maybe it did. But still, I wonder how much these things actually cost. Let's see. Crystar.
I couldn't find them.
You couldn't find them?
Find them. I think I moved them. I think I moved them when the Marvel Legends Crystar came out, and I didn't put them back.
Didn't you have them both in your pictures?
Yeah. No, and I definitely have Warbow, and I definitely have Moltar. I think I moved the bag because I usually keep it in the same drawer, and I think it's bad collector. Didn't put them back in the right drawer, and now I don't know where they are.
I was looking at the prices of the Shatterpult and sold Shatterpults. So just the figure that went with the crystal one, $50 with nothing with it.
Yeah, there was a carded one. Oh no, but it's not. Yeah, it's that battle package. Oh geez, $355. There was one listed for $180. That's steep.
Oof. But the colors are different. It looks like it has like gold boots or whatever. Which we'll probably get to that when we get to that set. But anywho, all right, let's get back to task here. All right, so those were the vehicles. Let's go to the dragons. Let's talk about this crystal dragon. I have seen this before. Again, I've never owned. Have you ever owned one of the dragons?
No, they are pretty rare and pretty fragile. Like those wings just shatter.
I think
they're just they're so thin, so fragile. And there's another figure, which is real weird because it's non-posable. It's
exactly just like a little brick. But I'm surprised in this world of, so many fan-made tool. I mean, I guess it's a Marvel property, so they can't. But I'm surprised somebody hasn't just made a crystal. It's just one piece. It looks like there's no articulation.
No, not as far as I know. There's no articulation. I don't know for sure. Like I said, I've never owned one. And then you've got those wings. Seems like you might be able to do something that simple, but I don't know how many people want to work in translucent plastic like that.
That's fair.
I don't know if 3D printers can do translucent plastic.
I feel like they. Oh shoot, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like should. I don't know. I don't know. Do you do any 3D printing stuff? I need to get in.
I don't. No, not yet.
Wish I was talented enough. But anyways, it's cool. I love the very crystalline, angular. It's cool. It's a cool sculpt.
It's super fun. Yeah, no, I love the sort of character design of the dragon. It seems like something that, you know, could be made out of crystal. Like, it's a weird thing to say, like, oh, that looks like a dragon that was made out of crystal.
Yeah.
But it does.
It does.
I like that he comes with a rider, even though the rider's not posable in any way. It's really just sort of a hat for the dragon.
Yep.
But then he's got weapons and stuff. And it's definitely something that I would have been interested in as a kid, and definitely would have wanted to pick up.
I will say, I feel like the packaging doesn't do it justice.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, that is actually not very interesting package art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost looks like a concept piece of art that was never really supposed to get out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a window would have done you much more favors than this.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, Crystal Dragon, and then of course the bad guy's got a lava dragon. And again, like this looks like a cheap Remco figure. It looks like a
the driver. Yeah, for sure.
All the driver and the dragon.
I don't mind the dragon. The dragon's kind of fun. He's got a little bit of there.
But he looks like a Remco bendy dragon.
Yeah, I appreciate that it's a different sculpt. It's not the same as the Crystal Dragon. It's a totally unique sculpt. But yeah, I've definitely had that rider and had no idea what it was, thinking it was some like weird like Happy Meal toy, honestly.
Oh yeah. So he's fun. It's fun, but it definitely is the most Remco looking.
Yeah. No, it looks very like Imperial sort of, you know, just knockoff bendy toy type thing. Yeah, any of those things.
Yep.
Yeah, like in the picture on the box art, it's like his whip is like blocking the character's face. It's like, what are you doing? You couldn't take it at a just slightly higher angle to not block the character's face.
Whoever's doing that work for the day, like, I don't care, just take the damn picture. Nobody's buying this anyway.
But I love the long list right on the package there to really try to sell the thing. Lava Dragon with Lava Dragon Warrior with weapon, gripping jaws, free Prisma Crystal. Free?
That's on all the packaging, by the way. A free Prisma Crystal.
I don't think you know what that word means.
It's on all of it, right? Because even if you go to Crystar, it's like a little burst on the packaging saying free Prisma Crystal. Like,
I mean, I guess. I mean, you could say free figure. Like, couldn't you? Couldn't you just be like free figure and accessories? Like you're just buying the blister card.
Dan, I think you've uncovered an amazing business idea.
Marketing angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's how I treated them all anyway, because I was just stealing them. So who cares?
What's the thievery factor on these? Easy, not so easy.
I was too young, man. I wasn't into it yet, so I don't know. These would have been I was gonna say a steal. These would have been super easy. Yeah, because that blister would have just come right off of that backing card. All those accessories just falling right in your hand. Out of there.
We got some play sets. We'll start with probably the ones we care the least about. We got some more wizard action, but he's got a sweet cauldron and some little bits and pieces.
Hey, look, accessory packs. I love it.
Yeah,
this is a great raincoat. It's like Gordon's fisherman now. Like, that's a free raincoat, actually, that comes with that. I love accessory packs. I would love. Look, we're at some point we'll get to like Power of the Force and those Star Wars figures and whatever.
Sure,
like, that's one of the last really great lines that had really good accessory packs.
Yeah,
you know, that really got into that world building and added stuff to the characters and filled in some of the gaps of things that you didn't get or that wouldn't price out into the regular figure pack out.
Yeah,
and I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, aside from the Long John Silver.
I love that it has no sleeves. He's like, yeah, it's raining, but I still need to show him off. You know, like glistening in the sun.
But yeah, they're cool accessories. And it doesn't say here, but you also get a free Prisma crystal.
So what is it? Like it's a big cup or cauldron, I assume.
Yeah, cauldron. And
I like his little crystal ball.
Yeah.
He's got a little crystal ball with a crystal ball stand.
Exactly.
And then he's got like what, a telescope? Some sort.
It looks like some type of focusing crystal or something.
I wish it said on the card what the things were, but it doesn't.
I'm trying to see if we got any.
Like, I want to know their official names.
Yeah.
But I don't think there are official names.
I'm trying to see. Okay, we got the Magic of Crystar playset. Yeah, nothing beyond that.
No.
So you just get to make it up.
I guess.
I don't wanna. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the little orb. It's like straight out of, or I guess Motu stole that for
like a little marble or something.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then the bad guys got one as well, and it's basically like the same thing, but just like different colors.
Thing.
Yeah. But let's just comment on his wardrobe.
Yeah, he's got like a Han Solo vest.
He does.
Or Lobo, or whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
These fingers, I can't with these fingers.
Why are they like that?
They're so long.
Is that something to do in the? Am I missing something in the mythology?
They have really long index fingers.
I don't know.
Long pointers.
So all I can think of is in Terminator 2 when he like does.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where he got the idea. All right, and then we've got the Crystal Warrior Catapult set. This came with a war bow. It looks, or at least it's just reusing a war bow.
Yeah. And like a net that kind of looks kind of spider webby.
Yeah, like a reject Spider-Man accessory.
3 little crystal balls.
I guess you pull it back and it shoots these little crystal balls.
Yeah. Fine. It's fine. It's not as fun as the raincoat.
No, that is not. I dig this set. You got a weapons rack. I always dig a good weapon, and it comes with a fire pit.
Is that fun?
Campfire. You just tell tales of Crystar and around the campfire.
I guess. I guess. The weapons rack is cool. Yeah, I like the weapons rack, the shield, and the couple of weapons and stuff. I don't know. That fire looks like a baked potato. Are you sure it's not a baked potato?
Well, they're not labeling it on the card.
No, they won't. They don't want us to know. Yeah.
Definitely twice. This is twice baked.
Got to go back and see if Remco had like fun baked potato set or something. They're just repurposing the mold. Like
just throw it in there. It's fine.
Looks like a fire.
Oh my god! All right, and then I think that's everything. Let's close on the Crystal Castle. I have never seen this. I love play sets, and if I saw this in person and it was somewhat reasonable price, which I'm sure it wouldn't be, I'd want to pick this one because it looks cool.
It's so tiny. It looks cool. It's translucent.
It's
really cool, but man, is it tiny. I'm having a hard time letting that be called a castle.
Well,
I mean, like a doorway to a castle.
The figures aren't like like Motu, like the figures were too big, or it wasn't scaled that,
Sure.
large. These figures look okay in the castle. No?
I don't know. Are those like folded paper decorations in the back?
I don't know.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Does it say on the box?
It's little cardboard.
Wow, look at that list of stuff on the box. They were like, you got to sell this thing. The Ultimate Fantasy Fortress. 3 play levels. Soaring 21.5-inch height.
Whew.
Big 14 by 16 inch play area.
Wow.
What does that mean? Can't you just count your entire room? Drawbridge that lowers, window that opens, jail door that closes. Jail is key. Rock chute with 4 rocks, recrystallizing chamber, weapons rack, 4 weapons and shield, crossbow mounted tripod, hoist with rope and hook, 4-section scaling ladder, prisma crystal altar, free prisma crystal. Gotta get that in there. 2 battlement walls, crystal emblem flag, decorative labels. Man, they're just like, They're just trying to fill the box. They're just trying to fill this packaging with stuff because there's nothing in this box.
I love the decorative labels. I love I can picture in the Remco, boardrooms, and whoever's like really selling this free Prisma crystal, like, you don't understand, like the parents, they're gonna see that, like that's why they're gonna buy this over a Masters of the Universe figure. We're giving away a
really
free
play
Prisma
up
crystal.
the value of this thing. You're getting all this and a free Prisma crystal. What?
It's such a weird thing. So weird flex.
That list is so long. Like,
but there's like one parent's like, it says this way more bullet points. This is the one we're going with.
Yeah. Like,
sorry,
you got this in the Fortress of Fangs in the other hand. Or Castle Grayskull or G.I. Joe headquarters. And they're like, I don't know. There's like 15 things listed on this thing here.
None of them come with a free Prisma crystal. That's how you know.
It's like a play mat, and then there's like cut paper, like background things. Well, it's like they're putting on a play. It looks like they're putting on a school play out back.
We'll give them crap, but hey, listen, the original Castle Grayskull had cardboard
pieces.
It's true.
Yep, it's true.
I will say though, looking at the back of this thing, the floors look very flimsy.
real rough. The crystal seems to have held up, but those floors are looking shaky. Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't mind having this in the collection, but I would never probably want to spend what this thing is or what it's worth now. And again, I'm looking at the Fortress of Fangs you brought up. Like the Fortress of Fangs is such a perfect play set. And it runs circles around the construction and design of this.
Is that 21.5-inch height? Is that to the top of the flag?
Yeah, for sure.
And how long is that flag? Like 4 inches? Like,
like usable height? Like, what is that, 12 inches? Where this little level is.
When does the translucent plastic stop? Yeah.
That's what counts. Okay. That is the entirety of the Crystar line. Dan, any final thoughts on these toys?
Yeah, Matt, I can't find my bag of figures.
That's gonna drive you nuts, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, as soon as we log off, I'm looking for that bag. I think it's a really great idea. We did our video on it. There's a lot of interesting factoids about it, the whole Danzig controversy with the cover art and all that stuff. It's a cool character design, a cool world that is unique from a lot of the other lines that were out there at the time. And I've just always loved this figure design, so I was again really glad to see it come back in Marvel Legends. I would love to see them explore more of that. I think it could have been a bigger deal with a cartoon, could have been a bigger deal maybe with a different toy company that just did things maybe a little differently, approached it a little, the play gimmicks a little differently, who knows. But certainly just a victim of timing and circumstance and whatever else.
And maybe they should have promoted the free Prisma crystal a little bit more.
Just maybe a little bit bigger starburst on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Called out free. I don't
know. No, I will say this is the most time I've spent looking at these figures and really kind of digging into the lore and everything. It's cool. It's really cool. I think for me, the biggest problem is the bad guys just don't come close to the cool factor of the good guys.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's
very plain. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's hard to argue that they at least have one great figure here with Crystar and a couple others I think are like Warbro's cool as well. But I don't think it's one I'm gonna be going after. Maybe if I run into a collection, then maybe. But
I would definitely suggest checking out the comics. I know I don't remember how many issues it is. I think it was in the notes there. How many actual comic books were there? But there's definitely some good art in the comics and some good storytelling and just some interesting stuff.
It says here in the research, it would run for 11 issues, not quite a full year. It was an extra size 48-page issue printed on higher quality Baxter paper. Whatever that is. I guess it's good paper.
I don't know. I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, okay. So, Dan, do you want to get into the original retail price game?
Yeah, I have no idea where these things are going to hit.
It's 1982.
Mm-hmm.
We've done 82 before with both Motu and G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
These are kind of 3 3/4 inches.
Yeah, I got to factor out the price of the Prisma crystal because it's free. So don't factor that into the price.
Oh yeah, don't add it. Don't add it.
Yeah.
Any guesses? Just a single carded figure.
So for Crystar, just for or are they all the same?
They're all the same.
They're all the same.
Price.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna say $4.
$4. A little cheaper, $2.99.
Okay. Okay.
Magic of Crystal accessory set.
I'm gonna stick at $4.
$6.49 to $6.97.
Okay, so that's a figure and a couple extra things. So that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of weird. And same for the Spell of the Evil Wizard.
Yeah,
and it's the same for Crystal Catapult and Lava Catapult. I'd rather have that than the accessory set.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Crystal Dragon and Lava Dragon, they're both the same price.
They got to be $10, right?
$7 to $8.
I don't know, man. I can't get a handle on this pricing.
She was unable to find like a legible price tag for the Crystal Castle.
Yeah.
But it's a note here from Allison. My memory of looking at it in Kmart was $17.99 when I wanted it to be Castle Alderaan for my Leia figures, but my memory may be faulty. But so not confirmed, but that's so there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you have it, Crystar, folks. Boom.
It's not the best line. Look, I think anybody would admit that it's not the best line, but it's got some really cool, unique attributes.
Exactly. I dig it. I dig it for what it is. It's the fact that it was relevant enough to get a Marvel Legends figure of it is in and of itself proof that it's it's
I think as far as a toy line, it's like there's a couple of cool things and then just a real fast drop off to just like ooh.
But still glad to jump in it today. All right, so next couple of weeks we're gonna have a few more kind of one and dones, and then we'll get into a more substantial series. Don't know which one will be next, but I think we've got a couple cool one-off series and some really good ones actually. But so stay tuned, hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on any of the podcast apps. Dan, any fun episodes coming up for you on your side of the house?
Today we released Mighty Orbots, which was a redo for us. There's a lot more to that story than we covered the first time around.
Nice.
So I would definitely recommend checking that out. Today we recorded our next video is a member exclusive video. So if you're a member of our Patreon or a YouTube member on our YouTube channel, you will get to see the story of Alan Smithy.
Oh,
does that mean anything to you, Jay?
No, not at all.
All right.
Who's Alan Smithy?
You'll find out if you want.
Oh,
I don't want to give it away. Don't Google it. You got to watch it. Don't Google
I won't Google. I am a patron member.
Okay, there you go.
Patreon.
You're a patron.
I'm a patron.
You're a patron
member.
Yeah. So that comes out.
So I'll get it. I'll get the episode. That'd be fun. I'm excited because one of my favorite events is back this year. The Jeffries are back. From our friends at Yes Have Some Toy Anxiety.
So if you're listening, if you're watching this on Monday,
it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Wow,
if you're listening to this on Tuesday, it's tonight.
Yeah, and are you? Well, I'm going to be hosting the red carpet for that show.
We'll see who shows up.
Yeah, you never know. Anything can happen.
That's right.
Anything.
Maybe Bill Murray. Who knows?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. But anywho, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching or listening. Feel free to send or add comments. Did you have something you want to say, Dan?
Yeah, find us that magic wand.
Yes,
please.
Yes,
we need to know where the magic wand is from.
It's fun. I've been putting these as premieres on the YouTube channel, so there's people live chat happening. So I'm curious if people find it in the live chat or after the fact. I'll be curious to see. Where it happens. But thank you for participating, being a part of this, and thank you to Allison Choi who does our research. Phenomenal. I mean, just so much detail about Crystar. Crystar. I'm so sorry.
Jesus Christ.
On that note, we'll see you all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Later.